2 years ago, I attended the Riverbend Writing Project, and as part of our responsibility in that project, we each had to teach a lesson. And my friend and colleague, Jill Kincaid, presented a lesson on meditation. And immediately I was hooked. She had us each write just on the spot without any kind of warning, and then afterwards gave us the opportunity to meditate and then to write again. And I was amazed about how much more focused and attuned into the task that I was, and I wanted to try this with my students as well. I just needed the opportunity to do that. And so when I became a member of the Learning Leadership Cadre in the EVSC, I decided that my action research project would focus around the effects of meditation in the English language arts classroom. 38% of my students have a job outside of school. 66% of my students are involved in extracurricular activities. 70% of my students are on free and reduced lunch. 23% of my students do not have a quiet place at home where they can do homework or have time to themselves. 27% of my students only get between 4 and 5 hours of sleep a night. 38% of my students have never meditated before. 28% of my students strongly agree that they experience stress on a daily basis. 20% of my students believe that stress affects their ability to complete schoolwork. 29% of my students acknowledge having trouble focusing, either in my class or in other classes. And 20% of my students either vocalize or think negative comments toward one another. And these are some of the statistics that I was able to gather in a pre-meditation survey. And I will give that survey again at the end of the action research to see if there are any changes in this data. Okay, we're going to do a 3-minute meditation. Remember that we're supposed to be calming our minds, concentrate on your breathing. We're to sit up straight, and we'll start with the bell and end with the bell. When my students leave my classroom, my hope for them is that meditation has some kind of effect on them, some kind of positive effect. I want to see them calmer. I want to see them less angry. I want to see them be more academically successful. I want for them to be able to listen and to understand what it means to listen and not just to hear things going on around them, to actually listen and to focus in on the task.
I think meditation is a way to clear our mind before starting our work. This clouds out all the rest of our daily hassles to focus on one thing at a time instead of worrying about other things and trying to switch between thoughts and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a way to open our minds to get focused on one thing, because it's hard trying to focus on one thing when you're worrying about a lot of things, because when you're in a situation you never really think about the situation. You always think about something later on. So I think meditation just helps us focus on the task that we're doing, and it helps us do a better job at it.
For students like me, I have a job outside of school. I have a little niece I take care of. I have sports and after-school curriculars that I do. So maintaining my grades with all that is a burden on me. I'm ready to face the challenges that are brought upon me in those situations, but meditation is just that one time of day or 2 times a day that I can be me and relax and forget about all those things.
Meditation has allowed me to set everything aside and focus on what I need to be focused on for the class and not having everything run through my head. Since we started meditating, my grades have went up in this class. I had a C and now I have almost an A. So
It helps me handle handle like situations, people that really I can't deal with. Like, say if somebody's like, yeah, like he said in class, if somebody's being distracted, doing this earlier or before class would help me handle that and be able to focus on the work that I'm doing.
Or get like mentally prepared for this class, because you know that person is either here or is going to be in this class with you, so it helps basically like your mind get ready to block out those distractions to get focused on your work.
Before meditation, I had a lot to deal with at home, at school, and generally I was always angry. I was always mad about something. Everything set me off. I didn't outburst. I didn't snap, so to say, on anybody. But I would just, inside, everything angered me. And when I started doing meditation, I just started forgetting about all that and letting it go, not paying attention to it and ignoring it. And it just became a lot easier for me to handle all the situations that I'm going through at home and at school and after school even.
From the start of the program to now, I've seen a change in my students. They do not snap at each other quite so much. They are eager to participate in the meditation because they look forward to having that time to regenerate and refocus. And I believe that is a testament to the effectiveness of the program, the fact that the students are looking forward to it, and that if there is a day when, because we get busy and we all do with our classrooms, that I have forgotten to do the meditation, the students will not hesitate to remind me, Mrs. Feller, we have not meditated today. And so I believe that also speaks to the effectiveness of the program.